inventory management. What the hell am I? Okay. We have to prune things with a heavy hand. I think I will hold on to the diamonds for now. 3 regular diamond shield could function fairly well at this point. Later on, not so much, but the one good shield recipe we have for the runes, it is very rare. At least requires a rare rune. But there's no guarantee we'll get it. I'll switch to a more combat-oriented arm. I think I'll just sell the extra rings and amulets I have. I can combine them, 3 amulets into a random ring, 3 rings into a random amulet, but I'm not sure I give enough of a shit to do that. And it would require us to store a lot of these. The end result, cold resist 29%, 30% extra gold from monsters. Okay, that's a good resist value, very good. Much double what we have in the previous ring. Better chance of getting magical items, better chance of getting magical items, better chance of getting magical items. I don't mind having one of them. I'll actually take the cold resist 29%. That's a massive amount of cold resistance. We have poison resistance, cold resistance, I think fire resistance, lightning resistance, yeah. We're in a much better position resistance-wise. I still want to keep some item that increases chance of getting magic items. I think these are not great, but at the same time, they're not all that important to what we're trying to do with the character at the moment. Lightning resist 10%. Rubbish. Plus one mana after each kill. Plus 20 maximum stamina. Probably combine some runes. Yeah, definitely. We have like 6 of these Eth runes. Eth rune is useful, sure, but not that useful. It. Do we have its? Yes, we have its. We have 3 its too. It is useful, yes. Yes. Not that useful again. That seems to be the general theme. Yeah. Wouldn't mind having 1 or 2 of these. 3 is too much. Yeah. How many hits do we have? We have 5 hits again. Ugh, no. Fourth hit. Pal room. We have 3 tier rooms again. There is. There is. Ral. I think this is our only Ral rune. And another nymph. Need to organize these a little bit better. It's somewhat hard to keep track how many we have of each when they're not in any kind of order. Right. Skulls could be useful in a helmet. At the same time, helmet recipes I think were the most plentiful. So I'm abandoning skulls too. Cold resist 30%. Cold resist 29%, so we had a better ring already. 30% extra gold. Gold for monsters, not interesting. We certainly don't need 2 cold resistance rings. We need 1 chipped diamond to get our 3rd regular diamond. Right, doesn't look that bad anymore.
Good day.
I'll keep the cat on seal. I have very little hope for that. It seems like it's more of a maybe melee focus. Still, you never know how good the set bonuses are gonna be, so it still will be very valuable. Don't know. Kalim's brain, player dungeon, player jungle. Spectral hit. See the rain. I'm switching the vine. Solar Creeper isn't necessarily bad, but there's the box. I think mana regenerates much faster. So in a way, it's better for us to regenerate that instead of having to constantly deal with the life loss. Yeah, I'm shooting from this place to here and the shots go there. We do have increased regeneration rate on the armor now, mana-wise, so I think that will cover it. Won't need any solar creepers. Champion Gloom. Right. Player dungeons to go. chip diamond. Excellent. So that will give us our third regular diamond. So that also means we need a 3-socket shield. It's better to try to make it sooner rather than later. I mean, the defense rating doesn't really matter. It matters a little bit, but we shouldn't stare at that. It's more important that we'll get a 3-socket shield of some sort. And I'd rather get it sooner. Yeah, we have okay resistances all around. If we get 30+% on that, we have fire, cold, and poison pretty much totally covered. So yeah, if we later on get something better, that's nice, but we'll be okay with the shield for a long time. Probably even to the end of the game, if we manage to avoid all this kind of a enemy melee engagement. And we're fairly fast now, so even the faster enemies have trouble getting into melee range with us. Where exactly am I going? Yeah, I think this is exactly where I need to be. There you go. Freedom to go home. Extra strong, weird nightmare, gore fester hunter. Now I've been picking these potions mainly to just replace the existing ones. So we'll go from normal and light potions to greater ones. We're looking for two things. Temple and then some kind of a dagger. I'm not abandoning it a U-wand.
Stay a while and listen. Yes?
Crap. Ooh. 6,300 plus 3 golem mastery plus 2 weak. 8,400 plus 1 blood golem. Blood golem must be a good one. For some reason, I don't think the golems were ever a good one. I seem to have the recollection that you want to use the undead as much as possible. However, golems have the advantage that you can summon a golem out of nothing, while you need enemy corpses to pre-cold resistance. I'll hold on to that one. While golem can be summoned from nothing. So if you're in a desperate situation, yeah, you're gonna take advantage of the golem. But as a general rule, undead are better. Okay, now we would be ready for a shield. Plus 33 to all resistances. We should do gambling to try to get the other parts of the boots. Which would be a belt and a shield. Which is nice because the shield doesn't really do anything for us. And neither does this belt. We should probably try to get the belt, if at all possible. It's a regular belt. And we might have money to buy 100 plus of the 100 plus belts easily. So even with that, I don't think our chances of getting it are all that great, but at least there would be a chance. It's more of a trying to get belts there is time consuming. So I'm not sure if it's worth it. I want to take one extra habit with me. I'm going to start visiting the Baroness every time I play a session. It's fairly easy to do, so it doesn't consume a lot of time. And I think the most probable way we'll ever get the more rarer runes if we make one ourselves. But in order to do that, we're going to need a fairly large amount of those fundamental basic runes. Start just keep combining them until we get where we want. And I don't particularly want to devote some kind of larger amount of time to grinding them, so it's probably better if I'll just spread a little bit of grinding on a multiple sessions. If we're lucky, we might get the rune itself. After that, we have that fucking parrot is paralyzed in flight. Has his shadow there. Why isn't it moving? Now it's moving. You fucking son of a bitch game. Trying to screw with me. Oh, this is what I wanted. I needed a waypoint, because I don't know if time portals are preserved. And I need to get use time portal to get out of here anyway. I'm not particularly interested in fighting with you. Awareness will be on level 5. Reaching her should be trivial. Ooh, Mr. Bossman. Bone Brow. Oops. You can keep your stinking boots. Just hear about the runes. Nif El Ral.
Good day.
Good day.
Welcome back, my friend.
It's basic, very basic versions, but reliably about 2 to 3 runes every time you kill the fucker. Another Nif. It's one there, another L, another Ral, a second Ral rune in fact. It seems to go at a sort of a sequence. I think from Tau, which is poison, went to Ral, which is fire. So I'll probably go through all the elemental damage profiles. Swampy Pit, that's not where we need to go. This is just to have some kind of a minor treasure item here, and that'll be it. Well, I can use the experience and use the loot too, but I'm not sure if I care too much about the loot. Runes are probably more valuable than anything else anyway. Suppose we could also hold out for armor that has higher armor class than what we currently have, that it would be Suck at It. Basically a replacement for our current armor. No, armor class doesn't matter, but it's not exactly totally worthless anyway. If we could increase it by 20-30 points, that would be realistic, I think. Black Hack. Extra fast back. He regenerates. Didn't drop anything. I guess we killed him in an awkward place. Swampy Pit level 2. So there's not even that much fighting here, just probably a place that has treasure chest for us. That's it. Mostly empty space. Two socket helm, antlers. I can get a better two socket helm, but is there any reason we should use a class specific helm? Any chance we could get some kind of skin bones there? I don't think so. It'll just add the effects it'll add. So we might as well go with anything that has as much armor class as possible. I don't know if it's a good idea to try to store those helms. Either we have the runes and we can do it, and then we can look for the helms. I think that's a much more sensible approach. Helms aren't that rare, especially if we don't care about the armor class too much, then we can find a decent one fairly easily. I think the earlier shopkeepers might even sell them. If we find a 3-socket version, that's a different matter. I haven't seen anything like that so far. Could be level dependent. Superior battle stat. How deep is this gonna be? I mean, surely a random place isn't gonna be too massive. Surely. 'Cause it is, in an even more literal sense, just a waste of time. In a way, I haven't always been like this, where playing a game like Diablo is sort of feels more often than not a waste of time. That's basically that's a lot of things are a waste of time. But I think it's the every time you just feel you're sort of running on a hamster wheel. You can do it for some time. You probably do it for some time in most games, but this is the game. There is very little outside the hamster wheel in a game like this. So unless the loot and new abilities, and I mean interesting, something you really actually care about, keeps coming in, you start to lose interest very quickly. Two, how do I put this? It sort of shows you the weakness of randomly generated content, which... Is this a solar vine? Explains why when you see huge bragging about some kind of a massive content or how this is the biggest area in all of the game or something like that, most content, in a way where it's obvious that the content is pretty much either randomly generated or there's no indication of that there's any kind of actual content in that area. It fails to impress because it turns to this. In that way, even Diablo 2 or even 1 has infinite content for you to play. But it really doesn't. You notice the patterns. There's not enough. There's no real thing or some kind of a gimmick, even a gimmick, to a level that keeps you interested, keeps things fresh. Technically, it might be that it is different in some aspects. It is somehow separate from what you played before, but it's not enough. You feel like you're playing the same thing over and over again. So those claims of massively large words or infinite amount of content turns into, what if you could, instead of playing an interesting 2-3 level dungeon, what if you had 100 levels of this dungeon to play? I mean, that's a lot of more content than those 2 or 3 interesting levels. Yeah, that's true, but I'd still probably rather play the 2 or 3 interesting levels and then go play something else than try to grind through hundreds of levels of this shit. I don't recall when that changed. I do like Diablo 1 and 2, and I have probably played Diablo 2 more than I care to admit. But it just doesn't do it for me anymore. It's a well-made game and all that, but it is fairly boring at times. Most of the time, if you don't do any grinding or things like that. It's just fine. Fairly simple controls, enough things to do, enough new things happening, or enough new things to look forward to that it's enough. You don't feel like this is incredibly tedious and I want to do something else. But then there are places like this, where you sort of know that there's nothing here, the place is dull as shit, enemies are ones you've defeated a million times before, and you know there's nothing at the end of this. Not really. There's some minuscule chance that we'll get something interesting. Something that is totally unnecessary to actually complete the game. Probably gives you a few percentage points more performance in an environment where that doesn't matter at all. So maybe the problem is that as I've gotten older, you tend to think about things a little bit more. So just having action there is not enough to divert your mind. You still keep thinking about it. Could be... No, I don't think it's just gaming experience. Because as a younger boy you played more, and it's still entertained, which is fine. Yeah. Well, that was pretty worthless.
Good evening. What can I do for you?
Probably should visit the smith. I have no idea what condition my gear is in. +1 to teleport and it's 15,000. Right. Can I buy a couple of belts, maybe? Problem is, now that I'm on a higher level, there's much more crap on sale. So getting a belt isn't a simple matter anymore. It's not a light belt, it is a belt. Not light belt, not heavy belt. Yeah, belt. Replenished life +4. That's probably actually better than the heat recovery. At least for us. For almost anyone else it would not be. Health recovery is not massive. It's very, very minor. But since we are not in the thick of things, that could be enough. Heat recovery only matters if you get hit. Repairs durability. Self-repairing belt. I don't think even in today's world a self-repairing belt would be an interesting thing. Self-repairing shoes or something like that, yeah, sure, but does a belt ever even wear out enough that it'll become a problem? I haven't paid attention of how expensive these belts are. Probably less than 5,000 anyway. I don't want to trade with you, just goddamn gamble. Wonder if there's a quick key for the gamble. Heavy belt is 5,000, so belt has to be less. 4,700. Approximately 5,000. I don't think I want to gamble enough that it matters. Going for a specific item is just very time consuming.
Greetings.
We don't really need this diamond. At the same time, we get a better, get a chance to upgrade some of these before we happen to get the shield. That's even better. Don't want to go to the swampy pits. Excellent. Not all that useful, but I'll take it. Ah, is that it? I want to get to the player dungeon, get the whatever magical dagger we need to get. Like Grand Charm. This looks promising. It's one of these sides without a doubt, where there's huts and everything. Player dungeon. Excellent. That's not where we get the dagger though. Doesn't matter, we'll have to go here anyway, so... Yeah, it's identical to the Swampy Pit. Probably 3 levels too. Load Skull. Death runes seem to be popular these days. There's probably some kind of level limitation on that. I wonder if it works both ways. I mean, at some point you're going to stop getting runes that are below your level. Or is it an unlocking thing? Or once you've unlocked something, then you can start getting them. But the old ones still are in there. Rare battle staff. That's likely 15,000 for us. So we're in a bad place. Okay. We'll have to be a little bit more careful. Did get a level up. I think I'll hold on to the attribute points. I'm still not 100% sure on what strength value I want to limit myself to. What I really want to do is take a look at our armors, belts, that sort of thing, boots, gloves, see what they require. The current one is enough, but it's not particularly good, and we might be like 2-3 points away from skipping an entire armor class or an equipment upgrade. And that seems like a waste. If it's more like multiple levels of strength, that's different, but just a couple of points, and I don't think that's a good choice.
I can't carry anymore.
Level 2. We need 4, no. We need 3 points at level 30, so can definitely spend a couple of points on something else. I'll probably keep buffing my dire wolves. It increases their life damage, and that'll be it. Alternative would be attack and defense, but the damage is more useful. The increase isn't massive, but we can't increase it any other way. Part of Wolverine would increase it, but the increase is less than just putting a point here. So. And more durable wolves isn't exactly a bad idea either. Big problem we had with the boss fight in the second chapter was exactly that our wolves had trouble lasting more than 1 or 2 strikes. So all the extra points will have added quite a lot of life to them. Even if they last a single hit more, it's significant. It allows the rest to keep attacking. We can't end. Ooh, kite shield. Once. What the hell killed them? Wasn't paying attention at all. Well, they won. Probably the shaman. The fire breathing or flamethrower effect that they have is quite powerful. There's a reason I don't want to go anywhere near them. Well, maybe not for us. 42% resistance. Dungeon level 3. So a mirror image of the swamp. Well, we're in no rush. Might as well go and identify
day.
things.
Good day.
Crap. Crap. Faster hit recovery, 2 to 8 points of cold damage. This is a nice charm. 2 abilities and both are at an OK level. However, very waste of time for us. Plus 1 to all fire skills, 1 to 4 cold damage, plus 3 to chain lightning. Can cast fireballs with charges. So this is a good stat. Very good. Chain lightning is probably one of the more convenient, better attack spells. Plus to all fire skills. What do I get? Helmets that rarely even have plus 1 skill. I should have played a sorcerer. If I had played a sorcerer, I probably would have gotten greater druid helms. That's the problem. Okay, another ETH, which will produce, I think, Tal. We'll keep it as an ETH rune. Attack rating mana plus 29 to mana. That's significant. It's like getting plus 15 to energy. 9% better chance of getting magic items. Actually, switch things around. And we have 200 mana, so it's significant even percentage-wise. Not bad at all. We still have 2 items that increase the chance, so 28%. I've definitely stopped caring about it. I suppose it's the runes. We're not quite so desperate to rely on chance so much. We have a fairly reliable way of getting additional runes. And runes are always reliable. Holy fuck. I'm dead. In these amateur mistakes. Poison damage, stamina. You don't need a lot to get into a tough spot like that. They swarm you so quickly that if you're in a bit of a bad position, you're unable to move again. That's where the few extra points of armor class come in handy. They help us keep us alive at least a little bit longer. I suppose also the very inaccurate attack magics. The problem is I use them so infrequently that I forget where the quick buttons are. And that's a bad time to start trying to try out things. I'll try the tornado for a while. See if I can get a feel for it. Still don't like it. Return hurt us to get to know the spell a bit better. Know what it can do and what it can't do. Can't hit, but can it kill enough guys in a desperate situation? Does it pass through them, or does it stop at the first guy? I think it passes through them, at least a little bit. It's like it's going nowhere near where you're shooting at sometimes. Seems to shoot at 45-degree angles. And it seems to also choose what angle it uses depending on where you're situated according to the target, but it's not always where you think or want. It's capable enough. Nothing particularly wrong with the damage, just the spell itself. It's much less mana efficient to fight like this. So I'm not sure why I should bother. Probably shouldn't. 2 socket helm. Crappy helm though. Because there is a benefit. If we walk into a tough situation with the direct damage spell, we can get ourselves out of it. With the fissure, it takes some time before the damage starts to seep into the targets. Okay, let's go Dar. Dar is not here. We should be at it in. No. Search for Kalim's heart in the sewers under the Kurast Bazaar. I want the Gidpin in the player jungle. Terrible place. These are terrible compared to the levels like the Maggot Lair. They're all random generated to some extent, but it feels like it has a function. This feels more like it is just random crap. Right. Isn't the Gid bin is somewhere close by? Because we've explored a lot of this and haven't found anything. And it's probably on a city or a ruin area like this. Huh.
Ormus may know something.
And that's it. I think I want to push forward. See what's there. I need to reach the next waypoint anyway.
This is. Hello.
Okay, who wanted the orbs?
You have done well, noble hero. Ormus congratulates you. The old spirits of Skatsim will watch over you for returning their sacred blade. Now, after all these years, Ormus will once again use his powers to protect the innocent from the shadow. The spell that protects the dark side shall now be reinforced.
Reinforce them away. Or not.
This magic ring does me no good. Here, wear it proudly.
What a magic ring. Oh. Maximum damage, attack rating, life, mana, cold resistance, extra gold. Or 13% better chance of getting items. This isn't a particularly good ring. It has a lot of effects, but most of them have nothing to do with what I need to do. Lower Kurast. Some kind of a either a city or a ruin. I would guess a city because it's multiple sections. Has a sewer system and everything. For Lower Crust, Bazaar, Trabinko at least. Another matter if we're gonna find the waypoint or not. Hey, boss man, lightning enchanted. Haven't seen these in a while. Extra fast lightning enchanted. Storm tree. Balance knife or a Chris. I'll pass. Lower Kurast. Hell buzzards. Eld. Lord Diamond. Doom Apes. How big is this place? Okay, probably should assume normal map size. Turret still. It's 3 to mana. Apparently minions. No. There has to be someone's coming in box. Right. Aura and channel. And more parrots priest in time. I don't get that. Now it's moving. Why? Why does it do that? It's such a weird thing because everything sort of works perfect. And the game has one strong thing going for it. Because it's sort of built around the fact that you can't save. Even if some kind of crash or getting stuck thing happens, there's really no danger to it. Yeah, you might be in a situation where you have to kill some guys again, but that's the entire game. And every waypoint we're going to exit the game and come back to reset things if we are worried about the game being unstable. And that's probably less than an hour between the waypoints. But no waypoint here. Find it first. Easiest way is probably find the exit. At least in my experience, that's where they mostly are. Either very near the entrance or very near the exit. Sometimes at a very remote location that has nothing to do with exits or entrances, but that's rare. I haven't been there it is, paying too much attention about what weapons we use for obvious reasons. Even if I could add runes to one, they would be heavily leaning toward just doing damage, and that does nothing for us, so I don't particularly care what weapons we use. Sin skin. And that's the next area. Kurast Bazaar, which also should have a waypoint. Okay, right that link here. We achieved what we needed to achieve. Oh, talk to Ashiara. Kurast Bazaar has the next part.
Good evening.
I think Ashiara was the mercenary leader.
Now that fewer of the Iron Wolves are needed to guard the dockside, some of them have volunteered to accompany you free of charge.
So I would have gotten a free guy here. Don't particularly care. We could have saved a couple of thousand gold. What is that? That's nothing in this game. Eld. It's our first Eld. No, it's too low level. We've gotten rid of all of our Elds. And Eld itself is not useful. Right. 500,000 of nothing to use on. What's the level? 26, 25. So until we reach 30, we're not gonna get anything new. This is basically it. And this is definitely it for the rest of the act and probably the next act too. We really have nothing new to pull against the enemy. So gear is the only thing we're looking forward to. I think this is more of a class problem than it is a general problem with the game. The points invested here just don't yield much results anymore. And since I have zero interest in shapeshifting, we're sort of limited. The problem is, I suppose too, that the spells fundamentally are terrible. There's very little point in heavily investing in them. That's a good thing about Sorcerer especially. Even if you want to specialize with just one element, you always have places where you want to spend more points. I mean, if you've decided that these are the spells you're gonna use, you can just really keep buffing them. Or you have your energy shields or mana recovery skill. So you always, and I think the mana recovery is like a first level. So right from the start you can start dumping points there. And more faster mana recovery is always useful. So there's not these middle parts where you're going to have to sit through hours and hours of game and level ups, half a dozen level ups, and have nowhere really where you want to spend the points. It's not like we're not getting benefits out of these. but I'm not sure. I feel like I'm not really getting my money's worth with the skill point choices. Still, we're getting about, I suppose, exactly about 25% extra life and a few points of extra damage. That's all we're gonna be getting until we reach level 30. Alternatively, try to make the volcano better. I don't see any point improving Fissure. Yeah, we're going to get easier time killing trash. However, it's trash. We can kill it with the summons and current Fissure just fine. I think the axe boss we encounter here will be a true test of the volcano. Is it useful? But I feel it is. Hopefully, it's a damage buffer. Direwolves are there to hold the enemy and keep them killing it while we drop volcanoes on the main pathway. However, the damage is very low at the moment, so a couple of extra points here might help quite a bit. It's only 2 to 3 points of extra damage, however the base damage at the moment is like 8 to 11, so 2 to 3 points of extra damage is actually percentage-wise a massive boost to that damage. My only problem here is that it's fire damage, and I'm not sure how useful that is going to be against opponents like Diablo. Um, I'll probably go with the volcano. Now that I think about it more, it seems like that's exactly what it's good for. The fact that we can only cast it very infrequently also enforces that. I mean, because it allows us to focus on replenishing the direwolves to keep the target stuck there, taking the full damage from the volcano. If it's something we'll have to keep spamming, we'll have to constantly just struggle with switching between spells. With Volcano, just throw it, then focus on the bulls and survival of your own. It would benefit from Fissure and Molten Boulder damage-wise. So even an investment in Fissure would increase it, but the damage increase would be lesser. It's less than 12% easily. 12% is like 1 point of extra damage. We can get 3 if we just put a point here.